southeastern United States. And so if I can ever get around this truck, I'd like you to see some of the beauty of the desert. I know that people have this idea that everything out here is dead, that the desert is dead. And in fact, nothing could be further from the truth. It is full of life. Wild horses are just one of the species of wildlife that we have out here. We have coyotes. We also have foxes, if you believe that. It's absolutely true. We do have foxes, and it's very rare to see one because they're so shy, but they will get into the hen house and they will find a way into your car and grab your cookies. So watch your cookies. Yep, this is some beautiful country out here. You can see the spots of trees. A lot of those are cottonwood trees, and they are really beautiful, but they sure make me sneeze and my eyes itch in the spring and the summer. Right now they're fully green. You're going to see a lot of sagebrush. Nevada is sagebrush country, which just means we get free sage everywhere you look. We're just passing into the Lyon County line, and you can see where the road has been literally sliced through the rock. It's almost really sad because the desert scars very easily. In some places you can still see the tracks of the Mormon pioneers and other immigrants that were crossing the desert on their way to California for the gold rush. So, yeah, the desert does scar very easily. Hoping that we can find some wild horses, and yeah, so follow me. I'll get you where you want to go. Remember, it's a great day for camping. Welcome back. Thanks for sitting down and having a cup of coffee with me. I'm Lily, and I wanted to show you a couple things that I have found very helpful in staying clean. Hygiene is really important, especially out here in the desert. We are at Fort Churchill State Park today at Samuel Buckland Station. It is an established campground, and it wasn't my first choice, but the dispersed area was a little too heavily traveled for me, so I came over here. They have potable water here too, so that's another benefit. Fort Churchill was built by the Union Army around 1859 for the Civil War depot that was stationed out here. And in or about 1860, two young officers from the Army kidnapped and raped two Paiute women from the local tribe, and they abused them pretty horribly. There's no excuse for any of that, of course. And the Paiute elders decided it was time to take action, and they certainly did, and they took revenge for those two women on their behalf. And other tribes have called it counting coup. Yeah. They started a war over it, and the Union side lost 75 men to the Paiute 30. So, yeah. It was a pretty decisive victory for the Paiutes in this area. Pyramid Lake, is not very far north from here, about 50 miles. And this was a wide-ranging territory for the Paiute tribe, who ranged all the way from Lake Pyramid, all the way to Carson City, to the Pine Nut Mountains, up into the Tahoe region, which was Washoe tribe territory. They were friends, of course, and allies with the Washoe tribe. So the Washoe and the local Shoshone also joined in on this war, and they won. So be careful who you offend, is the moral of the story. Anyway, So I wanted to talk a little bit about staying clean in environmentally sensitive areas, because the use of water, which here in Nevada is extremely scarce, is a precious resource, and we have to treat it that way. And so it's not just about the amount of water we use, but it's also about the water table in the area. And here in Nevada, our water table is extremely delicate. And it's been ravaged by years of mining, which is the reason we have sulfur and other things in our water, even in our natural water. So the water table has to be treated with a lot of delicacy, and it deserves more attention from all of us. But I wanted to try out a couple of camp soaps. You don't really hear about camp soap very much in the reviews that you see online. So I wanted to test a couple of them out myself and see which one came out the clear winner. Well, as it turned out, both of them did. One wasn't really necessarily better than the other, but first I want to show you this one. This one is called Base Camp. It's concentrated camp soap, wash skin, hair, or utensils. So it's an all-in-one. It's biodegradable, right? And it's manufactured by Dead Down Wind is the name of the company, which I think is a hilarious name and prompted me to buy it just because of the name. Because I'm like that. I have a weird sense of humor. Anyway, I used this last night on my dishes, or at least some of my dishes. I used it last night, and it did very well. It was perfectly acceptable. It smells nice, so it doesn't taste like, or it doesn't smell like lye. To me, Castile soap smells like lye, and I can't stand the smell. So anyway, this is a nice alternative to Castile soap, and I think you might enjoy that. The other one that I tried was Camp Suds. It's biodegradable. This one comes in lavender. Now, this is interesting to me because in the world of hygiene while camping, generally speaking, not much attention to detail is paid. So, in other words, they're worried more about keeping you clean than they are about how you feel, right? So when I used this one on my hair a couple days ago at home, my hair came out feeling like steel wool. So unless that's your goal, don't use this for your hair. You can use it for your hands and for your dishes, but I don't recommend using this for your hair. I have also tried this one. This one did a much better job, actually. It says gentle and moisturizing bath soap and shampoo for body, hair, and everything washable. So I tried this out. Yep, it came out really good. So this one, in terms of washing yourself, washing your hair, I think this one is the clear winner. But in the other sense, they're both winners, okay? It's just that, in my opinion, this one is better suited for your dishes and your hands. This one is for everything. So, yeah, your mileage will always vary. But I thought I would give you my thoughts and my test results. So I didn't think you wanted to watch me wash dishes, so it's not very exciting, I'm afraid. But yeah, so that's that for the soaps. But for drying off and for scrubbing, I don't think you can do any better than these. Now, these are made by many companies. You can buy them from anywhere. I happen to choose Wise Owl Outfitters because I know that it's a good company and they've got a good reputation in the camping community and so on. But anyway, these have turned out to be a really good investment. They weren't very much. I think I paid $9 for the set, which is a washcloth, which is rather big. It can also be used as a hand towel. And this one is more of a bath towel. It does open up quite big, so I won't bore you with that, but you can see. Both of them have a little pull-up tab, snap, that you can use to hang it on something, maybe a tree to dry, or maybe hang it off your antenna on your car. So these are really useful. They're very soft, and yeah, they're microfiber, so easily washable. They wring out really nicely. I think this one, when I used it this morning, It was dry in about 5 minutes. Yeah, I hung it on the tree back there next to my tent, and 5 minutes later it was completely dry. So I really recommend that you invest in a couple of these, right, for yourself and your family. I do want to introduce you to my tent, which I will do later. It's a nightcat tent. I think it's the best tent possible for the money on Amazon. It's available Amazon or direct from the manufacturer. And I'll be back later to show you that and give you a tour of the inside. We'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so you didn't tell me I had toothpaste on my shirt, but you know, just kidding. But here I am trying out the little hand towel. Worked great. I did want to give you a little tour of my tent. I think it is the best budget tent that money can buy. And I know we're all looking to save money, especially in this economy. But this company really does do it. For all the boxes, it will check off all your boxes. Mine is a 2-person solo tent. It's great for 1 person. 2 people can fit in it. If you're, you know, cozy and you like each other a lot, you could probably fit in there with a little bit of gear. I prefer, because I camp solo anyway, I prefer the 2-person simply because it has more room for my stuff. But I will give you that tour. First of all, I absolutely love the logo of my tent. And this is the name of the company, Nightcat. Nightcat Tents. Nightcat as a company started around 2014, I think. So they've been around a while, and they really do deliver on their promises. First of all, they promise that it's 100% waterproof, and I can tell you from experience that is absolutely true. Sorry for that. So yeah, the only thing I don't like is the logo is not glow in the dark. I really wish it was. I love the logo. Nightcat does make the most perfect waterproof tent that you can buy on a budget. This particular tent cost me $35, and that was 5 years ago, before COVID, and it has lasted every summer since. Summer and fall, because that's when I camp. So yeah, it's still working like new. Of course, some things are considered wear and tear, especially after 5 years, but you know, it's been a great tent. This is a 2-person tent, so it does have a door on each side of the tent, which is really nice in case you want to get some more ventilation, or maybe you just like cool air. I don't know. It does have vents at the top underneath that rain fly. Another interesting feature that I saw was that the rain fly is actually attached on one end. The other ends you hook on, but on one end it is actually attached with elastic, so it's flexible and it doesn't fly away in the wind, which I think is brilliant. It's a simple solution to a very troublesome problem. So I'll show you the inside and you'll see how spacious it is. I'd say it's probably about 4 feet height. Kind of hard to say. Sorry for the terrible picture here. I don't want to let the bugs in right now, so this is my sleep system. I have an unusual sleep system. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not unusual. I just spend so much time alone, I don't know. But what I do is I use an extra summer sleeping bag to cover or to put my sleeping pad inside of. That kind of helps to insulate you from the cold ground, especially in the fall. Then you place your regular sleeping bag, seasonal sleeping bag on top, and it really makes a nice comfy bed. I also bring pillow from home. I just find that the whole air inflated pillow thing is way overblown. But I guess if you're a backpacker, you know. I used to be real scared to take things into my tent because of bears. And yes, that's a thing, but it's not as big of a thing as everybody says it is. Bears in this area anyway are big goofy dogs that really are cowards, and they don't want to spend any time in your tent. But follow all of those rules anyway, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. But I like to use a little dollar store basket to kind of keep all my stuff together and stack things, you know, you can see. Anyway, that's my tent. I hope you enjoy that. Right now, these tents are selling for $45 on Amazon. So I think it's a really good buy. If you are looking for a budget tent, you really won't get any better than this. It is quite possibly the most cost-effective tent on the market, and it really truly is waterproof. So, yeah. Anyway, there you have it. It does come with fiberglass poles, and some people complain about the poles, but honestly, the poles are mass manufactured, and so the tent makers are getting those same poles from the same source. And it doesn't matter what brand your tent is. They're the same poles for somebody else. So some people have complained that the fiberglass breaks easily or something. I don't know. I switched mine out for aluminum, which is more lightweight. But honestly, my fiberglass poles never broke. So. Okay, so I need to get this in before the sun goes down. In the desert, it's really beautiful when sun sets. I'll try to show you that, but I'm not sure we'll have enough time. But I do want to talk a little bit about your sleeping pad, your sleep system. And I have kind of a wide experience, as I mentioned. I'm a cowgirl camper, right? So I do cowboy camping. Now, a lot of people think that cowboy camping means sleeping without a tent, just your sleeping bag out in the open. And I guess it sort of maybe so, but historically speaking, that is not cowboy camping. Cowboy camping means literally camping with your horse. Days gone by, cowboys did in fact use shelters. The idea that they never used a shelter is a complete fabrication. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe somebody thought that cowboys didn't have the sense to come in out of the rain, but it's just not so. Cowboys did use shelters, and they used whatever they had. Most often it was a horse blanket. Sometimes they slept underneath the horse. Yeah, I wouldn't do it, but they did. Yeah, it's an interesting walk in time. But anyway, so I did want to talk a bit about sleeping pads. I absolutely really don't like the subject because it's all so subjective and it's hard to find something that's going to please everybody. When I'm out tent camping, right, I like to use a much thicker air mattress. I really can't speak to sleeping pads. You'll hear a lot of people talk about the X-Ped and the Thermarest. And I'm sure I would love to have one of those, but I can't afford one. So my experience is more with air mattresses that are lightweight and inexpensive. So my regular sleeping mattress that I use is a generic, it was made by a generic company called Enkeo, which is no longer even in business. So you can't go there on Amazon and buy one of their air mattresses, but you can get something very similar, and I'll link that in the description. But one thing I have found to be kind of universal right now is people are doing a lot of car camping. So to me, car camping means sleeping inside your vehicle, and that's completely legitimate. Okay, I've done it, and I've enjoyed it, especially in places and at times when camping wouldn't maybe otherwise be possible. So I've enjoyed being able to sleep in my car during a torrential downpour myself, which has happened to me up in Tahoe many times, where I have camped up by Donner Lake. Yes, that Donner Lake, where the Donner Party, yeah, that whole thing. Anyway, okay, so one of the best things that I have found for sleeping in the car are two items. I am short. I'm only 4 feet 11, and I weigh about 150 pounds. So I can't say that you'll get away with this, but you might. I use, this one is by Climate, and it's called the Static 5 Junior. And this is actually made for kids. So because I'm the size of a 12-year-old, I can kind of get away with this. It's short, so it doesn't, it fits in the back of my tracks. As I mentioned before, I use my Iron Horse, my Chevy Trax, and it's a hatchback, so a small SUV, and it's not real long. So this one is perfect for when I need to sleep in the back of my tracks. It's short, it's small, and it still gets the job done. It weighs 14 ounces, so it's just under a pound. It's 50 inches by 23 inches, so yeah, it is a little narrow, but I'm a side sleeper, so to me it doesn't really matter that much. The thickness is 2.5 inches. My tent camping mattress is actually 4.5 inches, so I'm kind of, a wuss on that one, but I gotta have it. I gotta have a way to sleep and get a good night's sleep. So anyway, so this one I really recommend if you can do it. It's short, it's small, packs down, and it's really super light. Okay, if this one doesn't work for you, oh, and by the way, I bought this on campsaver.com. You can find really great deals. This one, I only paid $15 for this at Camp Saver, so great deal. This one is called the Sleep and Go. Now, some hikers love it, most hate it, but I can say that I've used it, and I've used it in the back of my car, and it packs down pretty small. I don't really know what it weighs, but I'm going to say that it's actually lighter weight than this one, and this one's 14 ounces. So I'm going to say this is about 10 ounces. That's a guess on my part, I have no idea. But this one is full size, so it's a full length, but it still fits nicely in the back of my tracks as long as I have the driver's seat pushed all the way up, which I normally do anyway because I'm 4 feet 11. And so it still fits in my tracks, and it inflates to about, I'm going to say 2 inches. It's not as high as this other one, but it's still really comfortable for the back of the car. I have tried this in my tent, and no go. I'm not doing it ever again. So I went out and got the other one. And so yeah, I'll put links in the descriptions. Incidentally, I do not make any money from the items that I talk about. These companies don't pay me. They wouldn't. Why would they? I just like to show things that I have found useful, that are good deals, you know, and share those with you. I don't make any money off my recommendations. So, but I will make a gear list in the description of this video, and you can see, you know, what you think of them. Maybe you go try it yourself and come back with a video of your own, and I'll be happy to watch it and subscribe. So we'll see you later. Okay, bye. Right, so we're off to get ice, and I do want to mention a couple things about camping in Nevada in case you ever do come here. First of all, it's very important never to pull off the road like I just did, especially if you're in an RV. The weight of your vehicle can sink the vehicle into the sands. We also have quicksand here, so you do have to be careful. Wherever it says signs say soft shoulder, yeah, believe them, because it really is. I hope that you will come to Nevada and you will spend some time here in our desert. Please don't be like Burning Man people and leave trash everywhere and completely disrupt our ecosystems that are very delicate out here. I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but I've lived here a long time and I have never met a single local who liked Burning Man. And there are very good reasons for it. One is it doesn't add to the economy, it depletes it. The second is that the result of it is mounds and mounds and mounds, huge mounds, just unbelievable mounds of trash. Gear is abandoned, bicycles are abandoned, vehicles are abandoned, all in our desert. And our desert is a fragile ecosystem that depends upon our mercy in order to survive. And I really do think that Burning Man as an event should take itself elsewhere. I think it is a mistake for Nevadans to allow it, but it's gone on for a very long time and it doesn't look like it will be restricted anytime soon. Whoop, there went the sheriff. He's in a hurry. I'm gonna go get ice and I'll see you when I get back. Right, so we're making supper and we're doing chicken thighs in honey, right? You take your chicken thighs, season them with whatever you want. I like to use just an all-purpose garlic and herb. We're going to smother them in honey and we're going to put them in the fire to cook. And this is really yummy. I like this with rice. I prefer the Mahatma yellow rice, saffron rice, but any rice is really good. I like to do it with their ends kind of pointing in because I think it cooks better that way, but as always, you do you. Okay, this is about ready to go on the fire. I'm going to wrap it up like that. Nice and not super tight, but kind of get it to where it's going to do like a Dutch oven, you know, kind of, yeah, like that. Maybe vent it a little bit just for the steam to escape. I'm going to go put it in the fire and I'll see you in an hour or so. It's almost time to go to bed. Dinner was fabulous. You can't really see it. It's dark. Here, maybe I can get the flashlight to work. This was dinner, which is honey chicken. Yeah. And it was cooked very well over the fire. This is saffron rice. I guess you can't see that, but anyway. I hope you had a great dinner as well. All of us are blessed. See you in the morning. Well, I promised you some wild horses, and I found them. So I wanted to stop and give you a beautiful look at some of them. There they are. Aren't they gorgeous? That's some of our beautiful wild Mustangs, and they do roam right around and mosey on down into town for groceries and go into people's yards, and yeah, it's free fertilizer for everyone. They really are beautiful this morning. Oh, look at them. Looks like one of them may have had a foal, so yeah. This is a nice, actually good-sized band. You'll often see them in these numbers, sometimes bigger, sometimes smaller, But there they are. They're so gorgeous, and I'm so glad you got a chance to see them. We are in the town of Silver Springs, which is right next to Fort Churchill. So this is free range land, and there they are, free ranging, home on the range. Yep, home of the American Mustang. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. Well, all good things must come to an end. And I've just thrown away all my garbage, broke my camp, and I'm on my way out. I'm going to try and show you a couple of the major sites for Fort Churchill. And you know, earlier I said it was decommissioned in 1863. I don't know why I said that. It was decommissioned in 1869. So I don't mind being wrong, and I am one of those people who readily admits it. I was wrong. It was 1869. So, anyway. I also found out that some of the graves of the Union soldiers were disinterred and reburied at Lone Mountain Cemetery in Carson City at some point. I think that was, I don't know, early 1900s at some point. But in any case, the only people that are still buried here is Samuel Buckland and his children and wife. They, of course, ran the Buckland Station, which was a way station for the pioneers, and also the Pony Express. So there's that. So a couple things I was wrong about. Coming up here, and I'm going to flip my phone around because my dash holder gave up the ghost. So I'm going to hold my camera up as we go around so you can see the ruins. I tried to get it yesterday, but my phone wasn't working very well. I'm running out of storage. I need a bigger SD card, but you can see up there on the hill the ruins of the Civil War Union Station there. It was a depot, you know, they barracked many soldiers there to protect settlers from roaming bands of wild men. Oh, it's silly, but you know the history. I don't need to repeat it, and we all know whose land it really is. But there you have it. So we're not allowed to touch the ruins at all. You cannot touch them. Not even the hem of your skirt can blow up against it because they are so fragile, and they are crumbling into dust. So as the old saying goes, dust to dust, from dust we are born, and to dust we shall return, that sort of thing. Yeah, so. And you can see Buckland Station there beyond. Buckland Station has been renovated and refurbished. It's now the office for the park rangers here. And hi, Kristen. Kristen is my favorite park ranger. If you ever have an opportunity to meet park rangers in your area, I highly recommend that. They have coffee with the ranger here in this park once a month. So it's really a great opportunity to get to know them and to hear about their lives as park rangers and their experiences. And you can ask them anything and they'll answer you, and it's very cool. It's a lot of fun. All right, so there's the ruins in Buckland Station. And then up here on the left, of course, is our cemetery, and that's hallowed ground, so I'm not really going to go in there. I'm a rather reverent person, so it's not that I'm superstitious, it's that I respect the families of the people who are buried there, and I only take pictures. I don't go in there and walk around over top of somebody else's grave. That's just disrespectful. So, yeah. They do have an old cannon available to view, which is really neat. It's an original cannon, original to the depot. Or at least original to that time. So we're coming up on passers-by here, so I'm going to put the phone down. I do want to just say thank you for joining me on this trip. It's been great. I hope to see you next time on another trip. My next episode, I'm planning to do one on dollar store shopping for campers to help you save money. There is so many things in the dollar store that you just can't believe. But anyway, we'll do that another time on another trip. And I hope to see you next time. Remember, be beautiful. Okay? And stay kind as you always are. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.